Hi there, YouTube. It is I, the one, the only Naudia Exotica. So as you know, or at least I've discussed it, this month's theme for my Patreon is sovereignty, and in particular sovereignty within adult work, trans adult work. I always have to emphasize it's trans because it's my lived experience and I don't speak for anyone else except for myself. But before we even get into all of that, I've got incense to light and I wanted to discuss something with you guys. Let's address our newest additions, which happen to be these eyeball earrings, okay? I was in Michael's craft store. I was peering around the corner and I saw them and I said, well, I have to have, and so therefore I took. But the wonderful thing about them, oh yeah, also a warning for those sensitive to flashing lights, okay? They flash and they're little eyeballs. They either flash or you can have them just light up and stay lit. Tell me that's not cute as hell. But for the sake of the video and the lighting, I don't think I'm gonna keep them on. But I just wanted to show. They were so cutesy and I'm like, yeah, I'm a sucker for the Halloween light up earrings. Okay. And then the second thing is my latest hit single, my smash hit single, Jewelry Plug, is now on every single platform you could possibly imagine. So stream it if you like. I go through phases of liking it and then disliking it. Like I'm like, if I hear it a couple times, I'm like, yeah, this is catchy. I like this. And then I can like, I nitpick what I do like about it when I don't. But nonetheless, it's available if you like garbage pop songs. I was also thinking about that too. I'm like, I'm calling my own genre garbage pop, but like that's a lot of what you hear now in mainstream media. So I feel like it kind of fits in, huh? But anyways, sovereignty. Let's talk about governance. Is it governance? Governance. Let's talk self-governance in adult work. We'll start with the very basic, and the most fundamental and important is that first of all, it's on your terms. At least for some people it is, but there's a power within that. The fact that you literally pick and choose who you want to see, who you don't want to see. You have sovereignty over your own physical self. Number one, that is if you don't have someone handling the business side of things or dabbling in business that has pretty much nothing to do with them. But I'll get to that. You have the utmost say-so as to whether or not you see a client. And that's first and foremost. It's almost like a reclamation of your physical self, your physical body, your intimate self. And that's like number one, okay? And I want to say also, this is all encompassing. This is not just escorting. It's not just webcamming. Hell, it even could be the phone lines, hotlines, whatever have you, because those still exist. Yes, they do. There can be, I want to say, like, another thing is like the possibility of, because it's not like, it's not one size fits all. It doesn't look the same way for everyone. I know people who are working the blade. I know people who got knocked up by a PIMP. And you know, I know of like multiple different walks of life within the adult working world, and nothing ever looks the exact same. That's number one. Number two is obviously the money, right? It's fast money. So you, if you don't have a money handler, are handling significantly different amounts of money than you're probably used to. Which is, again, thrilling. It can be intoxicating. And it's important, as I've said since day one, that you don't let it intoxicate you or take hold of you. You don't immerse yourself in the materialistic side of things, because I feel like that's where lines get blurred. You start to think that that money's gonna always be there, and that's not necessarily the case. You start to think, well, I can make that money back, and you just really never know what's gonna happen, right? So that's the other thing too. It's like the liberty of handling your own money and larger amounts of it. So it's important that you do so with a level of strategy, right? Like, of course. And then also the third one too that I thought of, I'm like, okay, schedule, right? Like, you pick and choose when you work, what times work best. Oftentimes too, you're kind of working with the flow of clientele, whatever, on whatever playing field that may be. So it might be based off of that. Something that I've come to learn with all of this actually throughout the years, and some of it's not even adult related anymore, but it's still something I have the privilege of, I guess. What I've noticed is it's very easy to take for granted these things, these larger amounts of money, the flexible schedule. It's very easy to fall into a comfortable slump, right? So alongside all of these things, discipline is like super necessary. It's being asked of you. It's like important. And I feel as though like there's a certain sense of just freedom, liberation in this line of work. But it's, again, it's just such a fine line, right? You really need to keep yourself in check. One of the reasons why I'm so, and when I say like it can look different, you might have someone in charge of every move that you make, which therein kind of takes away the sovereignty, takes away that sense of power or that sense of like control that you have over your clients, over your schedule, over your money, everything. And the reason why that really grinds my gears is because I know of someone very, very close to me, in fact, obviously within this work field, there's greedy people with grubby mitts who wish to keep their paws on your assets, on your work schedule, on your clients. They get the say so, or they want to call the shots as to who you see and who you don't. And might I just propose, I suppose, the idea of instead of having someone be a P word, PIMP word, just hire a bodyguard. If safety is your only concern, hire a damn bodyguard. Pay a portion of what it is that you're making and raking in to someone fit to be a security instead of a person who just wishes to dabble in your livelihood. I feel like that's a bit more admirable. That would keep you safe. They would kind of be on the lookout. I have no respect, as you guys all know, for the PIMPS. It really seems like that's where the severance of sovereignty comes in, is when you have a grubby, greedy ass man trying to dictate your work. If you think that you can't do it without them, I want to reassure you that yes, the fuck you can. As many other people have pointed out, they're not out there selling themselves. They're not out there selling their own dignity every night in hopes that it returns. They're not out there succumbing to the sultry transactions. Like, so why on earth would someone feel the need to fork over or forfeit a portion of your profit, right? Like, it's just, it makes no sense to me. Now, the only thing that anyone has ever brought up that somewhat made me kind of like stop and be like, well, was the security thing. But, or the sense of protection. But you can get that. You can get that. That's not something that needs to come in the form of a pimp. So, to me, sovereignty is pretty much the epitome of why this lifestyle, this work is so attractive, is because it grants you freedom and liberation. Something that oftentimes when other people think about adult work, they tend to think that you're surrendering your dignity, that you're surrendering your sovereignty, and it couldn't be further from the truth. You're calling the shots. There's something so beautiful within that. And it's oftentimes too, if you mimic, again, I know I've been saying this so much, if you have your work mimic regular social dates, there's nothing to be, there's nothing to lose and everything to gain. You know what I mean? So, but I don't know if certain people know that, you know, like that's the whole thing of it all, is to make it less strenuous, less like work, and more like pleasure. Because again, if you're not getting anything out of it aside from money, I do think you're doing it wrong. There's so many different things to be gained from this. Anyway, sovereignty. Sovereignty should walk hand in hand with adult work if you are doing it in a way that you're not off the beaten path. You would know. You would absolutely know, right? Especially if you're, I guess, mixing in substances and mixing in not so great habits. That's when you know it's not for you. It has to transform you. I mean, please, like, just look at me. I was doing it on a small scale, for crying out loud. And look where it's brought me. Like, I've been thinking about that recently. This all started from camming. And it's transforming even more right before my very eyes. So, if you think about it on a smaller scale, imagine it on a bigger scale. Why on earth would you ever have someone sit there and dictate what it is that you're doing when it's your own personal assets, your own physical attributes that you're auctioning off in a way, right? So this is a very personal thing for me because the fact that I've transformed what allowed me to have my own schedule, to rake in a substantial amount of financial stability, and to have sovereignty and kind of reclaim certain elements, certain things. It's phenomenal. So, yet again, wrapping this up, I want to say that I feel as though the sovereignty aspect of adult work is exactly what helps you transform, helps you grow. It's something that it's the element that's transformative. It's like the magic of it all, right? Like, it's literally the magic of the adult work. And using every single kind of profit as a step in the right direction. That's what sovereignty is within adult work. So if you're out there hustling, first of all, props to you. I love you. I love my hustlers. I love my hookers. I love my whores. But second of all, what are you doing to help you transform, to gain, to expand, to build? What are you doing consciously every day to help yourself transform it, to help yourself gain something from it? What are you doing? Ask yourself. It could be a little thing. It could be a hobby that is eventually going to turn into something beautiful. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be on this grand scale, you know what I mean? It could be literally anything. Pursuing something that you absolutely love. Could be art. Could be, hell, it could be like assembling something or tinkering with something. It could be literally anything. What are you doing to grow and transform your sex work? All right? I want you to think about that, okay? If you're involved in the industry. And I hope you enjoyed part one. There's plenty of other, I'm dabbling within this energy of sovereignty, and I'm thinking kind of about how it correlates with everything that I personally have been through. So there's plenty more on the way. And I don't know if you can feel that, but there's a chill in the air, and spooky season is upon us. It's on the horizon, and I'm so excited. So be on the lookout for my YouTube videos. Like, they're just gonna look even more whimsical as October approaches. All right. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or video requests, feel free to email me. My email is nadiaexotica@gmail.com. Follow all my links at nadiaexotica.com. And also don't forget to read my blog, which is nadiascuriotrove.com. And you can support me over on Patreon by making your way to patreon.com/NadiaExotica. And until the next video, you guys, you will be hearing from me very soon. A very special thank you to all of my patrons.